Going through the prompts. Happy Saturday. Oh gosh, what a beautiful day to be alive. What a crazy week it's been. It's been a crazy couple weeks. So, the beauty of it all. I'm still here. I've gone through a lot of transits. I missed a few people along the way, and that was just timing. Timing is everything. But I pumped out 7,000 miles in a month. That's a lot of road, and it's been really amazing, really joyous, great awakening. And now I'm back. I've had a chance to do some decompressing. I've actually, did a few things. You may have seen the recent oracles where I pee in my pool. And that's already changed. That's already changed. I have an absolutely new higher grade model, which I'm not going to reveal yet because that'll be part two of my little, aged urine pee adventure. But wait till you see this. It's nuts. My dear friend Jeffrey showed up and he brought two weed whackers because this place was a jungle. And him and I went wacky crazy yesterday and, in the late afternoon, early evening, and we cut down a lot. And so this morning feels real good. He even brought plants. And he planted a bunch of things in my garden. He brought me a gift of a weed whacker. He says, "Oh, you can keep this." I was like, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, man." I just bared lots of gifts. And I am grateful. He's just he's an endearing man. He really is a sweet human being, and I appreciate him. We have a real great bond. He's a good human being, a good friend, and I appreciate him. So he spent the night, and he's going to hang out for a day or two, and we're going to go play golf tomorrow. He said, "Hey, man, I'll pay for a round. You want to golf?" I said, "Are you kidding me? That's so cool." So he's the one who gifted me with my new arrangement. I put it all in the container yesterday, and I have I took a small amount of bleach, and I took a small amount of distilled water, and I rinsed out the tub. Couldn't smell a thing. Took it back, returned it to Walmart, got my money back. I said this pool's too small, didn't work. So, yeah, and I guarantee you, my age urine doesn't reek. It's musky. It's real pungent. And, I like it. For me, it is, it's so healing. This morning I did my fresh urine face and shaved my hair. Went out there in the brief sunshine for a minute. We had a beautiful, glorious sunrise. The skies were completely blue and the sun was out. And then all these clouds moved in. We've actually had a couple of little spurts of rain, but I think it's going to clear up. And so I stood out in the sunshine, did my aged urine body rub, so I could just prepare for cartoons. Life is a cartoon. Now, we went into town this morning, and one of my favorite little stores, and I'll keep her anonymous, but a very charmed person, and we always just seem to connect. And I told her, I introduced her to Jeff, and I said, yeah, he's a friend of mine, and I'm getting ready to do a show I do on Saturday morning. "Oh, what kind of show?" I said, "Well, you ever heard of urine therapy?" And she goes, "Well, yeah, I actually have." And so we ended up in about a 10-minute engagement on it. She took the card, and she goes, "Yeah, I'll check that out." She's real open-minded. And, in a little town like Moberly in Missouri, to find somebody that's that bright and open-minded and just, yeah, man, that sounds really cool. So that was the gift because I've been meaning to tell her, and just further our conversation because it's always pleasant. I mean, I always enjoy going into there. And, but the thing is that, with other customers, this, that, and the other, it gets along comfortable. She's the only one running the store at the moment. And so, I was there right when she unlocked the door. So we ended up having this, good 10-15 minute conversation before any customers walked in. So that was way, way cool. It's cartoons in action, always, it just works like that. It's just lovely when you really just are okay, when you unconditionally love yourself and appreciate yourself and you're respecting yourself and you're bathing yourself and becoming this whole new person. You become, it's like Bjorn again. We're now in this whole new paradigm shift. Now, actually, I saw a thing this morning that Harry posted, about a UT hospital and stuff. And I said, there's notably, there's those kind of facilities. There's one in Mexico that I'm aware of. And there's also there's maybe several in India. And it's a great idea. But, the challenge is getting past the rules in the Western medicine ideology with the allopathics because they off people, and they're very much into their control mechanisms. And so I don't know where you'd ever be able to pull it off, an actual UT clinic in the United States or even the UK for that matter. I mean, it'd be curious. It would be awesome. Wouldn't that be great? Where people could actually, instead of going to the Cancer Alliance or whatever the fuck, the Mayo Clinic or all these other jokester, operatives, they just treat you poorly with ongoing treatment because they don't ever want to cure us. Big surprise. No cure for you. So, we can take that kind of initiative. I certainly do everything I know how. I'm pretty vocal about the whole thing. Make myself very present and accountable for promoting the P dream. It is a dream. You are the stream. The P stream runs. It's a healing agent. Suck it up. Be Oren again. And see what happens when you start doing all that recycling. Inside, outside, internal, external. And wait till you see my new rig. It's going to blow your mind. I would have never imagined this thing. I would have never imagined it. And it's really quite it's astounding. So I'll probably shoot, I've already shot a couple of new short clips to prepare for the next chapter of the Orin Oracle, but there's more to come for the second installment. Now, I want to educate people real quick about production, because a lot of people don't understand what's involved in to just make these things happen. The live thing, I like it because we're happening right now, and I can hit share and it'll keep. But then I have to manifest an MP4 file. I have to download that. I have to upload that into YouTube. Once all the that's done, then I have to make another download in an MP3 file. I have to move that MP3 file over to my video editor. I have to render it all up and put it all together to even make the MP3 file happen in YouTube. So this is, hours, endless hours. Like the little video I made for the Orin Oracles, and I like doing the oracles because they're fun for me, with the music and the memes and the photos and, those productions. We Do Wonders. These things I enjoy doing because of the production value. But 17 minutes and 17 seconds, that's how long that current oracle I pee in my pool. By the time I started until the time I was done, there was 8 hours of production involved to produce 17 minutes. That's how long it took. And I can, if I go in and interrupt, if I start messing around on YouTube and Facebook and this, that, and the other, sometimes it draws the signal away and then it interrupts it, and then I have to stop and start over again. So when I'm doing production, I pretty much stay focused on production so that I can complete it without interruption. And so I just want people to be aware of that. I put a lot of hours in production. And I do the best I can, as far as being involved in the groups, respond to things. And, I always respond to comments, no matter what. I respond to comments, but I get, I open up my page, there'll be 100 notifications there. There'll be 10 new requests for friendships. There's like 5 PMs people want to talk to me and stuff. And I'm okay with all that. But it's all very time consuming. And I'm okay with that too. It's just balance. And I like to have balance. Now, I went for 2 walks yesterday, out there in the sunshine, soaking up that solar energy, that photosynthesis. Hey, Brian, I haven't seen you forever. How you doing, my friend? And Jeremy and all you folks that are joining in, thanks for joining this morning. I'm really in good spirit, really, really having a great time. And, I actually invited, I have never invited anybody to Saturday morning cartoons, but I did invite, and he wants to come in a messenger, but I have to disrupt all this stuff in order to bring him in a messenger. So if he doesn't come in on just comes right in on the invite on the Facebook Live, I either have to go out and start the generator and fire up the computer and the internet and all these things, which I don't elect to do. I got my phone charged up enough to do this program, and then once I finish, then I'll put on the white noise, start up the engines, and start cranking out the rest of the results of the experience so that I can just do whatever I do. And it's been this whole experience this week. I've had some amazing new people showing up and having like these awesome conversations. And I've had some others that just kind of cut me to the quick for some reason, which was interesting to me. I just have to look at it. The things that I want to note about that type of, behavior, I'll just choose that word, is that I have to go back to the 4 agreements and look at that. Was I being impeccable with my word? Am I taking this personal? Am I assuming? And am I doing the best I can? And in those elements, I feel like I stay pretty close on mark with all of these ideas. So when I get cut to the quick and dislodged from somebody's conversation, I always just go, wait a minute, what? The last conversation we had was so lovely, and all of a sudden I'm not involved in a conversation. So, do I take that personal? It's not a healthy choice to take it personal. It's easy to do that. It's real easy to take it personal. But will it serve? Is it a value? And I have to weigh that in. And right now, I just don't find that to be the important thing if I want to be a happy camper. Now, I had somebody actually on comments on my current video, the Oracle one, I think it was the pee in the pool. And they go, serious question. Are you on drugs? Because how can you be this exuberant all the time, you know? I mean, what the hell? You know, and I said, well, you know, what difference does it make? I'm a happy camper. I choose to be a happy camper, man. I just do, regardless of what anybody else is doing. And I tell people, like I was sharing with Jeffrey this morning, you know, the actual definition of fucking shit. You know, they're both acronyms. Now, a lot of people don't know these terms. You know, they only know them as they hear them, fucking shit. But if you actually understand the origin of fuck, it's an acronym. Came from 17th century England. It was a law in the books. It was fornicating under carnal knowledge, and it meant that you were having inappropriate sex in some measure. So it had a connotation there. But it was an acronym of a legal term. And shit came from maritime, which was because they were using cattle and livestock for ballast in ships, and they didn't account for the methane, and some ships blew up. And they went, oh, we better change our idea. So they started realizing they had to ship high in transit. There's your shit, okay? That's where it started. That's how these words really started. And so when people take offense at them, it's like, really? You know, they're just words to begin with, and it's what you put behind them. Now, if you want to see something hilarious, I shared it with Jeffrey this morning when we were getting out of the car. If you've ever heard of Osho, the Bhagwan, you know, he did a lot of discourses, and one of them, you just punch in Osho fuck, and this thing will crack you up. It's hilarious. How many different ways can you use the word? And, you know, and taking offense by it is just redundant. You know, it's just ridiculous to get offended. What the hell? You know, so I just laugh. You know, I just laugh because if I do it intentionally, because if I can push somebody's button and get them to, you know, even pay attention to anything, good for me. You know, I'll say shit off the wall, just see if anybody's actually even listening. You know, you ever been in a social gathering, a party, this, that, and the other, and everybody's talking about bullshit, you know, Trump or, you know, sports or, you know, bombing Syria or, you know, whatever. They're getting all serious and significant. And I just look at them and I'm like, you know, what do you think of those new Plymouths? You know, and it's like, do they even make Plymouths? Yeah, there's my point. So, you know, to me, I just want to have fun. I want to have fun. I've had enough misery in my life. I've had way too much misery. You know, Jeffrey and I, we talk, you know, it's about the pain body. And it's learning how to actually embrace your pain, celebrate your pain, understand your pain, you know, physical, emotional, mental. And the more you can do that and embrace it, understand it, accept it, release it. That's the paradigm shift. Now, I'm of the belief that if you understand the comedy in your tragedy, there's where the healing begins. You know, this is a Shakespearean wisdom here, you know, the whole tragedy comedy thing is just finding the humor in the ridiculous shit we take so serious and significant and how it fucks us up day after day. Just twists our melon. Bring your didge? Did you bring your didge? Do you know what I'm talking about? Did you bring your didge? What could that possibly mean?
We go get it.
Yeah, what could bring your didge mean? You're in for a treat. You know, this is gonna be fun. Yeah, yes, you got it right, Matt. This is just hilarious to me. It really is hilarious. So we're going to have a little, here we go.
It did.
Look who I got with me. It's Jeffrey.
Oh, peeps.
Look at him. Look at how squeaky clean he is.
Look at that.
He's out there doing his facial, his body rub, his hair.
Cleaning up pretty good for an old boy.
Yeah, man. He's been out weed whacking with me. And oh, here, before he starts, I want to mention this before I forget. I have been pulling ticks off me, and it's just interesting because with the aged urine and the fresh rubbed urine and stuff, the ticks, the fleas, no matter what's attaching and all this stuff, and they actually leave a sort of, man, I just rub this shit in and I rub that shit out. Just disappears. Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome to Pedum. Let's have a little music interlude, shall we?
All right, here we go. Oh, when the saints... When the saints go marching in, Lord, I wanna be in that.
Now, he's new at this, so anybody that passes a judgment, fuck you, because he had the willingness to invest in a didgeridoo, and that circular breathing, that is no joke. To learn circular breathing, to be a real authentic didge player, where you're playing, in 3 and 4 different octaves and keeping those things going, moving your breath through. Oh man. I welcome anybody to try that on for size. Now, I was a djembe player. I played with a lot of didge players. I have a lot of music out there with me, with didge and didgeridoo and djembe. And I've attempted more than once. I even had excellent instructors. I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
I don't get it yet either.
I didn't get it. And so I just thought, well, I can keep doing this. But, I was a drummer. I liked more the, the hand thing and the heartbeat rather than the breath thing. That was just, I left that to others. They did a good job. Why should I even need to go there? But I had friends that were making them out of PVC. They were making them out of anything they wanted to, Oh, yeah. Oh, great. Rochelle says Jeremy and I have didgeridoo in the car. That's so great. It's a great instrument. It's pretty big. It's not your usual piccolo. I played many instruments actually in my life. I started on cornet when I was in 5th grade. And I did that for 2 years. I started on alto sax. I went to tenor sax, and I ended up going to baritone sax because when our house burned down, I lost my alto, and so I had to use whatever the school had to offer. Now, picture me playing baritone sax in a high school marching band, hauling this thing around on the bus. I mean, this thing was as big as I was. I mean, I was struggling carrying this piece of shit around. And I'm out there having to do all these jive moves and stuff. In the meantime, it's like having a dead person hanging around my neck. And I look at the piccolo players and I go, damn, they got it. They were smart. They could put that shit in their front pocket. I thought that's the way to go, man. And so, yeah, I took guitar lessons for 9 months. I grew up around drums, so I always just kind of had an affinity to play drums. I don't claim to be a drummer. I don't claim to be a musician. I don't make those claims. I am a performer. I like to perform. I enjoy producing. I enjoy entertaining and doing all that stuff, but I would never call myself a musician. I think it's an insult to real musicians to make that claim. So I don't. But I'm okay with that. I think musicians are far out. Most of them are just so creative, and I inspire to that. And some of them are really actually, like my father, okay? Now, I grew up in a music family, and my father was a casual drummer. He had He played drums for a couple of different bands. I'll never forget. It was called, one was called the Continentals. And so by the time I was a baby, there'd be rehearsals and jam sessions and parties in our house. This was just what I grew up around as a baby. We had a piano, we had a drum set, we even had a trombone there. I mean, there was different things, and the music was always in the air. It was always happening, no matter what. We had one of the first stereos, color TVs. I mean, we were just one of those kind of, you know, media families. You know, back in the 50s and 60s, this was unusual. In 1960, my father was selling Plymouths, and we owned a Alpine, a Sunbeam Alpine, 1960 convertible English sports car, and a 1960 Volkswagen microbus with the windows that go along the top, you know, the view windows. Now, that's pretty far out for a guy selling American autos in the white suburbs of Seattle. That shit was far out. I came from a far out family. But my father, he was dedicated. He sold everything for everybody, and that at 40 years old, he decided he was going into business for himself and decided to sell himself. So he created a band. He did all of his own bookings. He was his own management. And he was booked years in advance. He was a union player. They were paid more than most musicians are ever even paid anymore. If you can even get a gig. I mean, in Seattle, you pay to play. They don't pay you to play. You even pay for your own beer. It's crazy. But that's the way it works. They just totally hijacked an industry. So anyway, my father was just a real instrumental person to me. I roadied for him as a kid, and then he started an agency. So when he'd sit down to book himself, he'd pull out his portfolio after he filled the calendar with his dates. He'd pull out a portfolio, and he'd book 2, 3, 4, 5 other groups that were under his tutelage. And he'd be sitting there making money on commissions. Pretty smart man. And so I learned a lot from my father and my mother. You know, I am my mother. I am my father. I am that DNA.
Apple didn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, I picked them. I picked them and all my crazy siblings. You know, so you know, I was blessed. You know, we weren't forced into religion, politics, or crafts or trades. We were allowed to explore our own imagination and flourish in the art directives that we had appear for us, and that was pretty unique. Most families don't have that privilege, so I'm grateful. I am, and so I'm finding out more and more. You know what a cartoon Jeffrey is. I'm being a good mirror for him. Show him. You get too serious and significant, and you're making presentation, and if people are falling asleep in the front row, you better change change what you're doing. You know, I mean, we can get serious about a lot of things, and God knows I do. But at the same time, I realize it's all just a cartoon. How serious and significant can I take any of it? That's always the question. How serious and significant are you taking yourself? Is your shit that important that you'll be upset and, you know, with your nose at a joint and hating other people because they treated you this way or that way? Get over it. Get over it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're that important, you know, find somebody less important and you'll find a perfect mirror. Take a look in their eyes and see. You know, that old song, you know, you walk a mile in my linen shoes, and let's have a conversation now.
Yeah.
You're going to judge me? Take a look at yourself before you judge me. And I think that holds court in truth in everyone's experience. Everyone's. So if you're hiding out, if you're afraid to reveal your honest, authentic, true self, you're losing out. You're missing out on the gift of life itself. You're missing the ride. There's fakeness everywhere. Look around. That's all masqueraded as so much propaganda and public image and, image making that has nothing to do with anything. I mean, it's just good marketing, really good marketing. But so how does that authenticate us, as who we're being? Because we wear Nikes, or, drive the coolest, newest car and we're being seen, and on the scene, What is hip? Tell me if you think you know. It's a joke. It's really a joke. Most people cannot accept their own authenticity and show their true colors. To me, that's sad. That's sad. That just makes me sad.
No, don't cry.
Oh, that just makes me so sad. I love when people show their true colors.
Don't be a big baby now.
Yeah, anybody shows their true colors to me, you got my vote. Now, I don't care, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. As long as you're coming off, and I get it, because I do look and read energy in the eye. And, sometimes people pull a pretty good masquerade. They've been to many balls. So, they have some big balls when it comes to masquerades. But sometimes that mask is going to be revealed, and that shit is going to be a wake-up call. Big time. You can only pretend so long, or you own your shit. There you go. A little Sermon on the Mount. I go to the outhouse. There's a big mound. There's a lot of shit there. But you know what? Right around that outhouse is where the sweetest flowers grow. That's the way it works. It's just the way it works. So, what's your shit? Spread the shit around. Let your gardens grow. And I got new plants. Jeffrey brought plants, tomato plants, and what other plants did you bring? He brought a bunch of plants, sunflower, and he planted
mustard.
Mustard.
Mustard already sprouted, and okra.
Okra, not to be confused with that, billionaire woman. We're talking okra.
O-F.
Somebody told me, one of my friends, I was on the phone, had a dream, woke up, and just before she woke up, it was Oprah, and she was calling me on stage. And then she woke up. She didn't get to see me perform on the Okra Windbag show. But I thought that was hilarious. Picture me on Oprah. That'd be hilarious. I don't know if they're ready, for Saturday morning cartoons yet.
Yeah, nothing's impossible.
No, the protocol for media attention. The fact is, I mean, it's happened to Yogi Zen. He got pulled onto Tosh.0, and they just make a ridicule. That's the whole idea. You think they want to hear about urine therapy and how that works and all that. Beware. What campaign you're being sucked into for what purpose. And I look at people in brilliance, okay, like Noam Chomsky. Now, if you ever followed Noam Chomsky over his career, which is extensive, and listen to some of his interviews, there's people that just go way off the deep end, doing anything they can to discredit this man, to make him sound like he's just a full of shit idiot. And he just holds his ground. Like, oh God, this one guy, this English pompous guy, I forget his name for the moment, but this guy was just He was so inner circle, and anything that was outside the box he had to destroy. That was just, he's so pompous. English? Pompous? How could that have happened? Gee, I don't know. Maybe it's in the water. What are you drinking, man? I don't know. But it's just interesting to see how people perceive things. And, we're unorthodox. We're doing things that are considered taboo. Yeah. And I see a movement growing myself. I see more and more people waking up to the possibility that the inside job actually is something they can apply and it'll work for them. Wow, what a concept that is, eh? Instead of relying on all that other shit that they were shoved in, choking on, gagging with, they're actually coming to terms with the potential that they may discover their greatness, that they might possibly have the tools to make their lives actually work. What a concept. What a concept. So, how do you make that happen? How can you actually, influence somebody? How can you really honestly think that you're going to change somebody's thinking based on what you think, especially about you? People will think what they think no matter what you think. So, you better think again on that one. You can lead people to their, the knowledge. You can plant the seeds. You can do all that stuff, but it's up to them. You can't force it on them. You can't beat them over the head with a stick and, prove your point and be righteously right. And I don't care how right you are. In their mind, you're incorrect. So you're batting at the breeze. You're wasting time, theirs and yours. So if you really want to be influential, you really want to guide people to a higher potentiality of their greatness, give them seeds. Just throw seeds out there. Plant them. Just let them be. You don't have to sit and watch them grow. If they start growing and seeking the sunshine, they're going to look at you as the light. And they go, wow, I think I want to get some more of that light. Okay, cool. Let's have a further conversation. And I have turned many people around. Just because I'm willing to hold that space for them and not beat them up. Now, with my bannerism, I beat up a lot of people. 9/11, Oklahoma City, JFK, you name it. It goes on and on and on. The wars, I beat people over the head with this shit forever. Forever. I was even doing it with flat earth in the beginning. I just quit all that noise. It's just noise to me. It doesn't matter what I believe. People are going to believe what they believe regardless of what I believe. Now, if we think the same, cool, isn't that comforting? Let's hold hands. Let's skip, How fun is that? It's always nice to find like mind. That's always comforting. But I found in my experience in the urine therapy, particularly, and even in the flat earth movement and all that, we are oddballs, in the comparative note. And I relish that. That's who I am. I accept the fact that I am totally fucking off the wall. Big mystery there. I'm totally happy with the fact that I am an absolute unconditional cartoon 24/7. So I release all that serious, significant horseshit with the bannerism, and I don't go around labeling people because that's just a waste of energy. If you really want to excel, work on an unconditional love of yourself. There's a trick. Unconditionally love yourself, self-respect, self-honor, self-awareness. It starts to grow. All of a sudden you realize the whole world was fucked up because my world was fucked up. And the reason my world was fucked up because I was looking in the wrong direction. I kept looking in the wrong direction. Got to look in the correct direction. It's an inside job, folks, I'm telling you. Whatever you think about, you bring about. You create your own reality. It is your source. And P will get you there closer than anything I have found. People question that. Well, how do you know it wasn't just the eating the fruit, or doing this, that, and the other? I know because I know my body, I know my spirit, I know my experience. P changed everything. Changed everything.
Yep.
Changed everything. So, am I comfortable saying that? You betcha. Always, absolutely, to anybody. I have no reservation. Never. Just like my friend in the clerk in the store this morning. You ever heard of urine therapy? Yeah, I think. Well, let me tell you. Let me explain something to you. If you didn't do urine therapy, you wouldn't be here. If you were ever born, you ever in the womb, guess what? You did urine therapy. You actually did it through the nose. Naturally. Ha ha ha. Drinking pee through the nose is a embryonic, growing in the womb. Now that's cool, crazy right there. You become totally, look at a baby when they come out. Man, they're soft, they're supple, their skin, their whole energy field is just like totally on. They're in a beautiful orb, this amazing aura. Then what happens? Ha ha! Joke's on you. We're going to bitch slap you, shove shit in your arm, take you away from your mother, make you into a corporation. Now you're a straw man. We're going to sell you on the stock exchange and prepare you for your education, your indoctrination, and your slave treatment for the rest of your life. How do you feel now? It's a horrible consideration. And it is, look around, folks. Look it around. People take all this stuff and they don't get it. They just don't get it. How do you return to the source? Drink your pee, man. Drink your pee. I don't know a faster shortcut. I don't know a faster shortcut than drinking the pee. I just don't know one. People say, oh, yeah, go ahead. You can do the distilled water. Sure you can. You can juice. Absolutely. You can, eat nothing but fruit or fast, do whatever you choose. There's a lot of paths to the higher elements, our higher consciousness, the better path. There's so many ways to get there. But me, I'm jazzed about pee. Who would have guessed? I mean, really, that I'd be enthusiastic about drinking pee? But yeah, I am. Cheers to that. Oh, it's salty. Oh, what about those chips you eat? They aren't? Oh, it's bitter. Oh, and you have that, tasteless cocktail or wine or something, and that wasn't? Or some food? I mean, come on, let's get real. How many people put shit in their mouth throughout their life and go, ooh, wow, it's nasty, but they do it anyway. They call it food. They call it drink. But you talk to them about drinking their pee, which is the healthiest choice you can do. They're like, oh, ick, ugh, ugh. You're missing the good ride. You're missing the shit when you don't drink your pee. It's happening. It happens just like that. And you know what? Here's another thing about pee that's remarkable. It cleans your system out. It cleans your heart, your mind, your body. So if you happen to be full of shit, pee will enemize that shit for you. All of a sudden, your mind is getting more open, your heart's getting more open, your body's getting more fluid. It's working now. What a concept. Most people that I know that drink their pee really know why they drink their pee and why it's healthy and how it's helped them. They just know. There he goes. There
you go, cheers.
I call it God. I call my pee God. Golden Orin drink. There's your God.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
I am that I am.
Almighty I am.
And I know where it comes from. I don't have to wonder who bottled it. What source they got the water from. I don't have to wonder any of these things. Never. I know the source. I'm well connected to the source. It's a stream that I live by. Pee Creek. I live in Pee Creek. It's my stream of bliss, joy, and awakening every day. Now, I really can't wait to show you my next step. This is going to be fucking off the hook. It's going to blow your mind. I swear to God, it's going to blow your mind. Nobody's going to see this one coming. That's why I'm not going to spill the beans, because I'm going to shoot. I'm going to put it in the next door oracle, because I think it's hilarious. And I'm happy. I'm about to have some more fun. And I'm digging it here. You know, the weather, I mean, it's going to be in the 90s and 80s. It's like forever now. Summer is here. You know, 60s and 70s overnight. You know, 80s and 90s in the daytime. My kind of world. All that photosynthesis. Pea and sunshine. Wow. Because I put up with a long, cold winter here. Long, cold winter here. And I figure, well, I'm going to hang and celebrate some of the summer. And I intend to enjoy every breath I take. Imagine that. You ever think about that? Enjoying every breath you take? If you've ever read Man's Higher Consciousness by Hilton Othemas, he talks about what it is to be a breatharian. You know, and how we eat to live and we eat to die. And people just go, what is that supposed to mean? Well, if you look at our physiological history, we started as breatharians, went to liquidarians, went to fruitarians, actually went from there to omnivore before vegetarian, but he lists vegetarian first because all of that planting and growing stuff came after the hunter-gathering stuff. So, but anyway, the point is, it's a digression, not a progression. And people just mistake all of this. Like they have to eat, they need the food for nutrition, they need. But it's just not so. As a matter of fact, I have Elatom Elamin as a guest coming in 2 weeks from now. I've got John Trammell coming in Tuesday. These guys are off the hook, man. These guys are crazy cool characters. And then Jack Catran finally. You know, we've talked about it in the past, but it was all timing. So the next 3 weeks, I just got a real cast of characters on the live show. It's going to be, oh man, off the hook. I'm so excited. I consider myself so privileged, you know, that people will even consider my request to join me. I'm honored. I really am. It's just way fun for me. It's way cool. And people seem to like it. That's why I keep doing it. You know, there's a lot to be learned in conversations. And that's why I really choose Saturday morning just kind of as my monologue, you know, for myself. And although I invited a friend to join me this morning, and there was just a little snafu. And so we're just letting it go. It'll happen down the road. You know, I'm here to do my Saturday morning cartoon. You know, and I got a little chirp in the background here with the didge. That's unusual. And so...
you got a cheering section.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, so, you know, it's all good. It is. Let's just remember to love each other. But more important, before we can love each other, got to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, it's really difficult to love others. If you loathe yourself and hate yourself and you're angry with yourself and jealous and spiteful and shameful and guilty, that's all you're going to project on everyone else. And that is not a healthy choice. Just not. If you really like drama in your life, if you really love misery, it's not hard to manifest it at all. We are electromagnetic fields, primarily liquid, and the more we're in touch with the liquid body, the glands, instead of being calcified and crystallized, we actually have way better conduit. And as you get control of your conduit by consciousness, by choosing, by really understanding what you talk about, you bring about, you draw towards you whatever you think about. It's a magnetic energy. Good, bad, ugly, or different. You know, whatever. You know, you choose. You don't like your world, you might want to take a look in the mirror and see what's going on inside, that your world's so fucked up that you see the rest of the world as fucked up. I see the world as a beautiful experience. That's my world. Oh, that's so Pollyanna. Man, why don't you get your head out of your ass? What are you, wearing rose-colored glasses? No, I wear blue blockers. That's what I wear. But the point is, it's how I envision it. It's how I see it. I don't want to see ugliness. I don't see ugliness. Even if I see ugliness, I still don't see ugliness. I used to do Amway meetings here in my little suit in the South Bronx. I mean, there's cars burning, there's rats running around, and I'm shuffling into some, infested building to do a meeting with my little Puerto Rican Italian wife with her fucking bow tie and black suit and pumps. I would see flowers growing out of the concrete in the sidewalk. That's what I'd see. It's everywhere. It's just what you imagine. Life is as beautiful as you choose to imagine it. Imagine that. Ha ha, you don't like what you're seeing. Might want to look again. Don't like what you're thinking. Might want to think again. Option, option, option. Always there. It's up to you. How do you want to roll? You choose. You can't kill misery, Mr. Man. There's a little frame of reference. Some people think that you can never kill misery. Take a look in their eyes. They're right. Misery loves company. And they're right. They'll find it. They'll find all the misery they can handle. Always. Me, I like hugs. I like joy. That's why I love my bro, Ali. That's all he does. Shout outs with hugs, 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 hugs. Every day, his memes, his message, hugs, 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 hugs. I just love that brother. It's just such a powerful message. Consistently. Yeah. Shane says beauty, beauty, beauty. And it's true. What you imagine, you create. You are that powerful. You were given all of the tools. Now, all you have to do is give yourself permission to get the fuck out of your way. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy it. Have a sense of wonder. Like childlike enthusiasm. Imagine every day like when you were a child and it's like, oh, we get to go to the park today? Oh, the flowers are growing in the park. Oh, the animals. Oh, did you see that dog? He was so cute. And you allow for all of this wonder and joy and enthusiasm and beauty to embrace you. It's all around. It is. Just have to look inside. Ha, ha, ha. You have to look inside. You won't see it outside if you don't see it inside. Natural order of beingness. 101. So, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, marvelous day. Whoever you're being. Wherever you're being that. Why not? Wouldn't today be a really amazing day to have it the first day of the rest of your life? Put that in perspective. Today is the first day of the rest of my life. Actually, if you put that into even more smaller portion, this moment now is the most important moment of my life. Consider it. It's that powerful. Miracles happen. Beauty presents. Love is abundant. It's all there. Own it. And then give that shit away. But receive it at the same time. If you can't receive, you break the cycle. And that is not cool. You have to just keep the cycle going. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away. But also receive it, receive it, receive it. Keep the cycle going, glowing, and growing. That's where the love lives. And thank you, Cynthia. That's so sweet of you. Cynthia says my hair is amazing. It's my pee-doo.
Huh.
I, I love my pee-doos. And it's all it is, fresh pee. People go, how do you do that? I mean, don't you rinse it out? Do you? No, fuck no. Why would I want to rinse it off? Oh, if you don't rinse off the pee, then it's going to gather bacteria. It's like, no, it won't. Why would I take all of this precious, beautiful product that I've created and stored and aged to put it on my body just to rinse it off? Why in the world would I do that? Plus, I live out here with a shit house, no intake water, buy it by the gallon. I'm very frugal about the water. I don't even drink it. I really don't. I don't have, oh God, you got to have this many liters and this, that, and the other. No, you don't. Maybe you do. I don't. Pee hydrates me perfectly. I loop my pee and it works for me. I don't have to go to the store and buy it. How convenient. It's my own convenience store. Yeah, so, you know, let's all have some fun today. What do you say, folks? Yeah, go out and just see how much fun you can have. See how many people you can bring joy to their lives. See how many smiles you can receive. See how many smiles you can give away. What a task. What an assignment. To me, it's worthy. I love love. I really love love. I appreciate my peeps. I do. And until I started doing urine therapy, man, I could count them on half of one hand, my real peeps. Now I got peeps. Now I got tribe. Now I got people that actually got my back. That shit, when all that goofy shit happened, look at that. See, somebody got my back right now. And, when all that goofy shit was happening there in April and stuff, and some of the angels flew in and just went on like a mission, like, hey man, you're fucking with my homie. You got the wrong guy. Yeah, I appreciate that. That kind of friendship, that kind of loyalty, that kind of trust is earned. You earn that shit. You can't command it or demand it, expect it. You earn that shit. And I know I earn my friendship, and it's mutually beneficial. We earn each other's respect. And for this, I'm grateful. And I got some peeps. I got some good peeps. Really good peeps. I'm grateful. I really am. And I haven't mentioned the symposium, in the last couple of videos, at the risk of too much redundancy about too many things. But I really encourage people to make that consideration, for the Water Life Symposium in September in Vegas, September 21, 2, and 3. It really is a great communion, and there will be just awesome people that you'll have a wonderful time meeting. It's a great meet and greet. You can learn whatever you want to learn out of the whole thing, but the meet and greet is really the power. It's the love. It's the connections. It's the people you're going to start developing as, your lifelong friends, people you'll really embrace and trust. I have so many of these peeps in my speed dial. But, I'm also doing the retreat in July, and there's only a couple spots left. People are, letting me know they want to participate. And it's at this point, I make it public in these announcements, but it's really private in conversation. I'm not going to put out a huge banner on it and, promote it and do any of that, because that's not required. What we're going to do is find a healing intimacy and build a real trust among a small group of people, and hang out in organic gardens in a beautiful environment so that we can feel safe at home. Nancy is a perfect host, and offering up her property was really a tribute, and I accept that gift. Nancy is a gift. I love Nancy. She is just a genuine human being, and she's out there growing her gardens, preparing the yard. We're talking about getting the teepee up and all of that stuff. And we only have room for basically 12 people, plus her and I. So it's going to be intimate because we want to be able to have room for proper accommodation. We don't want to crowd anything. We don't want to crowd anybody. This isn't like a big seminar. This is a real opportunity to get to know each other, to get to know ourselves. Really open some ideas and see if we can get past some of our limitations in experiential observation. See how we can be perfect mirrors, for ourselves and each other. And see if we can walk away with the biggest hugs we ever had because we've been moved to that level because of our trust, because of our love, and because of our experience together. So if that's of any value or interest, and it is selective at this point to all people's reasoning, and I accept that. I assume nothing. But if you're interested, let me know. Let's talk. At this point, anybody that's attending, I have long conversations with. I start with the conversation so that we understand where we're coming from and why somebody would even want to attend and what their commitment is to the attendance. So we're learning that. It's not a control thing. It's not about that. It's about knowing the people that are supposed to be there are there. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about. And they are showing up. The ones that are, they're lining up. There's really only a few more spots left for consideration. So if it's of interest, let me know. That's all I'm saying. And there'll be more, we hope. That's the intent, is to kind of create an idea, a template, see if this is a working, model, so to speak. And if it is, we're going to open that to greater possibility in other locations and development. That's the whole idea, is just see if we can keep growing together. We're going to glow. We're going to talk pee, but more deep. We're not just going to sit around and talk pee. It's way deeper than that. We got a lot of things to look at. All of us do. Everybody's got shit to look at. And we don't want to dwell on it. We want to move through it. That's the point. That's the purpose. That's the process. And that's why we're doing it. See if we can get some of that shit out of the way. That's all. That's what it's about. So if it's interesting to you, give me a ring. Show up and show me that you want to have a conversation, and we will. I welcome conversations. I like to talk to people. That's the way it works for me. Now, if you're just going to call up and bitch, tell me about how fucked up your life is, and you're not willing to take responsibility to make it change, even if I offer some, insightful considerations for you to look at, and you call me back and you tell me the same set of bullshit problems. So it's like, well, do I really have time to sit around and listen to you bitch and moan and complain about how fucked up your life is? No, I don't. But if you're really into looking at how you can shift your gears and get to another plane, I'm all ears. I'll be loving and supportive and kind, absolutely. Always. But don't waste my time or your time. Just don't do it. It's not, let's not do that. That's mutual respect. I got some sunspot that keeps showing up on my face. I don't know where it's coming from. It's like magic stardust. Some reflection coming off of something. I don't know. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm sending out all the love I can to you all today. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, marvelous day. Go out and find all the love you are and receive it because you deserve it. And with all that being said, I'm going to sign off. Want to say goodbye, homeboy?
再见大家.
There she goes. That's my Chinese girlfriend. 这金刚熊啊，香港这些啊，Oh, and don't forget, boom. You've just been loved. Bye now.